My name's Eric Sheninger. I'm a senior fellow with the International Center for Leadership and Education based in the United States. You know what? Leadership is leadership. The same competencies, attributes, behaviors still apply. Digital leadership is about how do we use technology to support and enhance what we already know works when it comes to leadership. So when we look at communication, when we look at how we move organizations forward, how we inspire others and build that capacity for them to be the change. So, again, we don't want to look too much into it, but it is those same overreaching qualities. You get what you model, having a vision, aligning action to vision, ensuring accountability, all those same elements. How does technology help us do what we already do better? The main benefit is, let's look at the world. When we think about digital leadership, look at the world. The world's becoming more and more digital. You don't have to like technology, but you have to understand the fact that it's not going away. The real world is becoming more and more laden with technology. It's in society, it's in jobs, it's in our personal lives. So it's incumbent upon us to think about what we do in education and become more relevant for those who we serve through the purposeful use of technology. The main problem is we're so comfortable with the way we've always done things. That's the way we have always done it. Plagues education and plagues organizations. But as we think about change, people are afraid of what they don't understand. And the key is how to help them to see the value, how to make that connection to professional practice. If it's important to you, you'll find a way. If not, you'll make an excuse. So I'd say the number one challenge rests between our shoulders. It's our mindset. We have to change our mindset in order to open the door to possibilities. I think every school, to determine how well they're doing, should ask their learners. It's not about how we think we're doing as adults. Ask those who you serve. Ask kids, regardless of their age, what they think about their school to get a good idea of the culture. Because if it's not working for our students, that kind of tells us that we have to think differently. Often we're blinded by our own bias. And when we're blinded by our own bias, we don't see what's possible in terms of change. We have to get a better pulse on what's going on in our schools by asking those students so we can begin to move forward. In my latest book, Learning Transformed, we looked at over 100 research studies, and 8 keys came to the surface. When we think about leadership sets the foundation and builds culture. Number 2, we got to make learning personal for our kids. If we want to improve outcomes, our kids have to know why they're learning what they're learning, how they will use it, not just what they learned. And number 3, we got to look for the return on instruction. How do we collect evidence to verify that innovative ideas are actually impacting learning? 4, we got to look at how we transform learning spaces to make it more reflective of the real world. 5, we have to look at our own professional learning, take ownership of our own learning, and grow anytime, anywhere. 6, building that foundation in terms of changes of pedagogy. Technology can then be an accelerant to learning. Number 7, we got to get the community involved. We have to get others to see the value in these changes so we can scale the work. And number 8 is all about sustainability and scalability. It all comes down to relationships. If there's no trust, there's no relationship. If there's no relationship, no real learning occurs. Yeah, I think when you look at a lot of practices, a lot of people think the solution is putting a device in the hands of every single kid. That practice alone does not improve outcomes for our kids. We have to provide teachers and school leaders with support in terms of professional learning. We have to build pedagogical capacity so that the device actually becomes a transformative element aligned to teaching, learning, and leadership. Well, and again, using social media is a choice. And it's a choice that one has to make in seeing the value. Why would somebody want to shut the door on endless possibilities to improve their practice? Social media is like a human-generated search engine. The best ideas, the best strategies, what's worked, what's not worked. So why reinvent the wheel? Again, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. Your room can be the whole world, but to take advantage of the space, which is social media, you got to be in this space. Well, we often look at teenage use in terms of off-task when we have to look at adults. Adults are just as bad, if not worse, when it comes to off-task behavior. We have to create a construct where kids see the purpose in using the device. We have to teach our kids know how to use tech. They don't know how to use tech to support high-level learning. That's the job of educators. So we have to create relevant, meaningful, high-level thinking tasks. So when our kids are using technology, it's aligned to a learning outcome. And when it's not, don't use it. Yeah, for me, it was twofold. It was a student that basically said I was a failure. You know, a student told me that he did not want to be in school, that school was irrelevant, and it was because of me and my policies and my mindset. That kind of rocked my world because my job was to help our kids learn, and I wasn't doing a good job. That, and then getting on social media by mistake. I swore I'd never be on social media because I don't have time. And when I got on it, I saw the connection to my professional practice. I began to learn how to unlearn and relearn. And those two instances changed my whole trajectory, opened my mindset, and that's when we began to really implement transformative change. It's been a great conference, connecting with people from all over the world, seeing the enthusiasm and not just the willingness, but the tenacity to embrace different and better, to look at how we can change the system to improve results for kids. It's such a great organization, bringing together a variety of different perspectives, insights, giving people a platform to share their ideas. But what I'm most excited about is the opportunities for the participants to talk and engage, and then go back to their home countries and initiate that change.